Now more than ever, for your weekend edition, you need to get things right because now the rock and roll is here. The summer concert season is here. So no more excuses for this bullshit. No more going out Friday night, drinking tequila, vodka, whiskey, rum, and then expecting us to pull you up by your bootstraps, bitch. Well, we will. We will. Just make
It's
sure.
what we do.
Just get the eggs frying, the bacon, the sausage, the coffee.
Just remember, concert nights, we're getting minimal sleep.
So I don't want to hear the bitching and pissing and moaning and complaining anymore. We're here for you every Saturday morning on Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, with your Uncle Dave.
And your Uncle Kev.
So the least you could do is sit there, pay attention, and don't puke.
For the love of all that's holy, you don't want to have to clean that up.
Or make your loved ones clean it up, which was 10 times worse because they will hold that over your head till the day you die. And even if you're going to go out and do this all again tonight, and you're going to pop a bunch of aspirin and say, I'm young, I'm invincible, don't drink and drive, and don't come on her tits. I mean,
Don't.
Did I say that out loud?
Yes, you did.
Well, wait till we get to the Hawaiian shirt story. No. Then it'll all make sense. He's a conquistador, Dave Height.
He's the maestro, Kevin Crane.
It is time for the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0, your Saturday morning hangover cure. And yes, the concert season has begun. We are in May. The weather is warmer. And we have got a double shot rock and roll review for you. Friday night, Saturday night last week.
Boom. It was a glorious evening. 2 glorious evenings.
We started off last Friday night in South Bend, Indiana, with the Big Growl. 103.9 The Bear here locally. Most years puts together this rock and roll extravaganza. They never know where. It's changed venues a lot over the last 5 or 6 years. This year at Four Winds Field, where the minor league Cubs affiliate plays. 5 bands. Unfortunately,
we didn't get to hear the opener because we were stuck in a stupid long line.
They did not have everything set up, prepared well enough to get people in at a reasonable pace, so we missed the opening act, 20-minute set.
From Keith Wallen. We kind of got to hear it, but not enough to enjoy it because we spent over a half hour waiting to get in. We thought, we'll miss the big crowd. Everybody's going to get there who's got the field. We had seats. We thought we're going to be fine. No, they had one frickin' metal detector and 1 table and 3 people manning it to get all these people through.
Thousands of people. Thousands of people.
It was stupid.
So yes, we missed the opening act, but we did get to see the other 4 bands perform, starting with Saint Asonia. And the thing that I found out from our buddy Jamie, the unofficial 9th member of the Sports Frenzy panel, although that doesn't come into play on the weekend edition all that much, is that the lead singer for Saint Asonia used to be the lead singer for 3 Days Grace. And we probably saw him way back in the day when they opened for Nickelback.
Yep. So there you go. And Saint Asonia's kind of not quite a super group, but made up of former members from other bands who have come together. And you can tell because they know what they're doing. They are a tight group.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty good. I did. And then again, the curveball with the 3 Days Grace stuff where they played 2 of their songs, their 2 best, probably. I Hate Everything About You, which is just awesome beyond belief.
Yep, and Riot.
Yeah, and Riot. Let's start a riot. So those were the highlights of the set to me. I hate to say it.
Yeah, but no, then the second to last song, Wolf, is getting big radio airplay right now, which is a decent song. Pretty good. So They were enjoyable.
Yep, yep, I like them. And then we moved on to Saliva. Oh no,
Nope,
Fuel. Fuel
Fuel
was
was
next.
next.
Sorry, Fuel was next. That was the one band that I was really looking forward to seeing next to Seether, because I've been a big fan of Fuel for a long time. But I also realized that their original lead singer is no longer with the band. So it's been a long time, well over a decade, that they've had a new lead singer, and their material just isn't as good.
Yeah, it lacks a little bit.
So
We had
listening to them, it was hit and miss. The new lead singer could carry some of the old songs, and then other ones not so much.
yeah, no, it was a kind of a mediocre 12-song set.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorites is Jesus or a Gun. They did play. They did play at the end, of course. Hemorrhage in My Hands. Um, I'm calling this out. I don't think this set list is right, Dave. We're looking at the set list.
Yeah, this isn't correct.
No,
Somebody
because
screwed up.
yeah, because they did not play. They did not play Bittersweet.
No,
That was
they
one of my
didn't.
complaints at
Yeah.
the end, was they didn't play Bittersweet.
Somebody posted the wrong set list.
Yeah.
For this one.
So we apologize. We call this up from our trusted source, setlist.fm, the wiki where people. No, they did not
Somebody
play.
Screwed up.
They did not play Bittersweet. They did not play Bittersweet. That should not be listed there.
No.
But they did play, as I said, Hemorrhage. They played Jesus or a Gun. They did play Shimmer. That's literally my favorite Fuel song, and he did okay.
It wasn't as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a meh portion.
Yeah, and I know
of the show.
You weren't looking forward to this one as much as I was.
I was looking forward to Fuel more than I was Saliva.
Right.
I was there.
And I'm even agreeing.
I was there for Seether.
Right.
I'm putting it out there right now.
Nothing
That's
wrong with
all
that.
I cared about.
Yeah, and I wanted to see
Seether.
Fuel as well. And I agree with you that it was kind of a mediocre set. Not bad, but not as great as I was hoping it would be. Wanted something a little bit tighter with a little bit more of the older songs.
Yeah.
And again, this set list they've got posted is incorrect, because I'm telling you they did not play Bittersweet.
No, they did not. So knock that one out of the ballpark.
So then next up is Saliva now. Now, I don't know if you kids like the whole rap rock thing. I'm not a big fan, obviously.
It's hit and miss,
Yes.
if it's going to be good or not.
See, that's more your genre. I'm not saying it is your genre.
No, but
you're more tolerant of it.
I'm a little more tolerant. If it's done well, I can deal with it.
Yeah, I can't stand it. I really can't. The only two songs that Saliva played that I liked were the last two, because those are the two that I really know. And I don't think the lead singer, again, another situation where the original lead singer is not with the band.
No, he's not. And I like Ladies and Gentlemen, normally
That
what they
wasn't
started
bad.
with.
That wasn't bad.
It was okay.
Yeah.
He did an okay rendition of it.
Right.
But again, this is another that was just
Yeah, and in the middle they started to do a bunch of covers, and they picked literally some of the worst cover songs you could ever imagine. They picked Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall.
They were
Part
doing
2.
like an amalgam,
a medley.
It was a medley of songs, and it's just like, why?
And then they did, oh my God, then they did Bulls on Parade.
With the pocket full of shells.
And I can't stand Rage Against the Machine.
Rage sucks.
It still amazes me to this day how you could take 3/4. This is kind of like Creed and Alter Bridge for me, too. You know, you take that lead singer and you take the bad one out and you put a great one in, and it changes the entire band.
Yeah,
Same
the
thing.
entire dynamic.
Creed, you take out Scott Stapp, you put in Miles Kennedy, you get Alter Bridge, boom, confetti. And you take Zach De La Rocha out of Rage Against the Machine, you put Chris Cornell in, you get Audio Slave,
And
boom, confetti. 3 phenomenal albums. But again, Bulls on Parade, not one of my
Ugh.
favorites. Between that, you're playing Rage Against the Machine and Pink Floyd, you've lost me. I'm out. I'm out, Jerry. I'm out of the contest.
So there you go.
But again, at the end, they played Your Disease and Click Click Boom. Click Click Boom is awesome. It is a great song.
It's a great song.
It
A
is.
good way to end it. That was probably the highlight of their set when
Yeah.
they brought the young kid up on
Yeah.
stage.
Yep. And he's just banging his head, thrashing.
Yep.
And I'm
Trying to
thinking-
help out with the
and
refrain.
My parental instincts were kicking in like, oh my God, you're going to give him brain damage. And he's not even 18 yet. What am I doing? I'm at a rock concert.
Exactly. Dad.
Yeah. Get off my lawn.
All right. Then the headliner of the event, the band that Mrs. C, my youngest Nick, and I went for the main event. Seether finally got the opportunity. 14 songs, a greatest hits run for them.
Yep. Again,
And-
now I'm worried about the set list, but you would probably know more than me if that's accurate. I know Seether, but I'm not 100% sure of the accuracy of that set list. I know the end is right.
Yeah, for the most, yeah, that looks pretty damn good.
Now, I was looking forward to Seether as well. Like Dave said, greatest hits run, and I have their double disc greatest hits package, which I enjoy very much. So I did know most of the songs that they played. They do, for me at least. I still thought they were great, but they do tend to occasionally get in a rut where some of the songs in live at least tend to sound the same.
You get that with a lot of bands,
You do.
though.
You do. But I thought they were very, very tight, played very well, and performed very well.
Yeah. The one thing that we talked about during the show that we thought was different and kind of cool is after each song,
Yes.
where they went,
Yes.
the stage goes black, and they're just dinking around with the guitars.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain this better to you guys, but your Uncle Dave is absolutely right. This really stood out to me during Seether's set. Again, every song, they went black. They turned off the lights. And then, like Dave said, somebody's noodling around with the guitar or the bass
Yeah.
for about a minute, and then the lights come back on,
And
next
they go-
song starts.
Yeah.
Very, very cool idea.
Yeah. Something different that I really liked
Very
about
cool.
it.
I did love that. Kind of like when we saw The Offspring last year, and they actually made the half hour leading into their show much more
Entertaining.
enjoyable.
Yeah, they
It was-
had a countdown clock going, and then they were doing stupid, goofy things.
yeah, they
to
had
keep you
clowns and
entertained
freaks
throughout.
and games going up on stage and
Wrestlers.
just something different that actually is very cool and works very well instead of just
Yeah.
playing Thunderstruck.
Yeah. Mm.
So how do we rate this? How do we do individual bands? Do we do it as a whole?
I think we have to go individual.
Okay. All right. We'll start off with Saint Asonia. I would go 3 Frenzies out of 4.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I will say Fuel Saliva 2.5, weak 2.5s.
I would go weak 2.5 with Fuel, strong 2 with Saliva. Again, I just can't.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, that rap rock, I just can't stand
Yeah.
it.
So we're
And plus
pretty
the
close.
bad cover songs.
Right.
Bad cover songs. But they were energetic. They tried
to bring
if
it.
you like them, they put on a good show,
Yeah.
I think.
There you go.
And then Seether, I will give a strong 3 too.
Yep, very strong 3 for Seether. Very enjoyable show.
All right.
So I think in a different setting, it would have been more energetic and lively.
I would have liked to have been closer.
Yeah. The baseball stadium feel, and it was unfortunately not a great crowd, which kind of
Yeah, it's
takes
tricky.
it a
It's
little
very
away.
tricky because
Because you've been at some of those events where
you feed off the
you
energy of the
feed off
crowd.
the energy of the crowd, and maybe it's where we were. Maybe if we would have been on the field up closer, standing, potentially.
Okay, this is where you and I are going to
But
differ.
I said possibly.
Well, as we get older, you don't want to admit it yet because you still think you're invincible.
I am.
I'm frail and fragile, Dave.
And so's my wife.
So it's now seats all the time. Got to have the seats. Any chance we can get, we get the seats. And on top of that, and this will apply to Judas Priest as well, I am to the point where I don't want to necessarily stand up through a whole show screaming and yelling the lyrics. Sometimes I just want to sit there and enjoy the show, take in everything, the light show, the stage
Yeah.
setup, the music. That's where I'm at right now. And that's
Which
what
is valid.
So I didn't mind that part of it so much. I get what you're saying, but I think for me, I enjoyed Seether more as it was there at the baseball stadium. I would have liked to have been closer.
Yeah.
But I'll take
As
it.
is,
I'll take
it was solid.
Do I have to tell the kids the story now?
Yeah, I think we do. We need the interlude between the two shows. So now, we alluded to it during the sports segment.
Earlier this week. All right.
It's an early story time from your Uncle Kevin, not in a movie kind of way. Although, if he played his cards right, he could have been in a movie.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not ready to be the next Ron Jeremy yet.
It all started with a new Hawaiian shirt.
I had to go to Walmart a couple days before the concert. My coffee maker took a shit. And right now, you should be enjoying your coffee as it's trying to get you that caffeine buzz to get you through your hangover. So you know how important coffee is. So I had to run out to Walmart at the last minute because my coffee maker died. Literally while I was trying to make a pot of coffee. So I go out to Walmart and I'm like, well, I might as well pick up because I'm not coming back here for another year.
There's only so much of humanity that you can take.
So I'm like, I better stock up. So I bought weed and feed. I bought beer. I was buying everything I could think of at Walmart that I could not usually get somewhere else for a better price. And I happened to wander through the men's section because I do like Walmart's men's clothing. You know, obviously I would love to be rich and powerful and be able to, get the best of the best. But sometimes you got to deal with Walmart. And they've got great t-shirts. Sometimes they've got gym shorts, regular t-shirts, that kind of stuff. They have usually, I have found every year, great Hawaiian shirts. So
lightweight, comfortable.
Yes, I was going through the Hawaiian shirts,
stylish.
thinking I would like to get a new Hawaiian shirt for the show. The heavy cotton of my concert shirts just isn't working for me right now, as it has for the past 2 decades. Just isn't working right. I need the comfort, the lightweight fabric of a Hawaiian shirt. So I'm like, let me get a new Hawaiian shirt because they're only 12, 13 bucks. So I'm going through and I'm looking and they've got some cool Marvel ones with Venom and Spider-Man, but those are a little more expensive.
And they're not concert shirts.
And I found a really cool, what I thought was a traditional Hawaiian shirt. Palm trees, that type of thing. Black background works for me. Grab it, go through, buy everything, take it home. Friday night rolls around, ready for the concert. So we go out to dinner.
Yep.
No problems. Get through dinner, as you mentioned, get to the concert venue, have to wait in line, ridiculously long time.
Insanely long line.
So we finally get in. Can't even get to my seat yet. We were about 2/3 of the way there from the entrance point to the seat, and somebody says, "Hey, I like your shirt, man. Really cool shirt." And I'm like, okay, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thinking it's a goddamn $13 Walmart shirt.
It's not your rock god shirt with all the
Yeah.
band
Yeah, I have a
logos.
couple shirts that are worthy of praise, believe me. Both of them coming from the generous Height family. So then we sit down and we're meeting up with friends, and so there's
Yep.
the six of us there, and we watch a couple of the bands, and then eventually it gets to the point where, yes, it's $10, but I need an adult beverage. I need to get a beer. It's been 3 hours. I haven't had a beer. I want a beer. So I go up, get in line to get a beer, and a young, I don't know, middle-aged lady, let's say.
There you go.
Middle-aged lady's behind me, and she says, "I really love your shirt. It looks so soft. Can I touch the fabric?" And I'm like, "Sure." And she goes to my right sleeve and she's rubbing the fabric. And we talk for a few minutes, and I'm telling her we're going to see Judas Priest tomorrow night, blah, 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 blah. And she's just like really being very nice to me. And I finally, I get my beer and I tell her have a good night and head back to the seat. So then watch another band. And of course, stop laughing, Dave. I'm not even done with the story yet. So I get back to the seat and, of course, drink my beer through another band. And by then, I have to go to the bathroom, of course. The beer has worked its way through. So then I go to the bathroom and I get in line at the bathroom. And there's a dude, there's a line for the bathroom. There's a dude, a couple guys ahead of me, turns around, sees my shirt and goes, "Dude, I love that. You're rocking the Hawaiian style." And at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this shirt?
Tell the kids what's on your shirt.
This guy, after a brief pause after he compliments me, says, "So you're a swinger, right?"
And why did
And
he
I
ask you
finally
that?
look. There are huge pineapples all over the Hawaiian shirt. And yes, on the sleeves. On the sleeves, there are upside down pineapples. And all I could think of when I was buying the shirt and I saw the pineapples was psych. I wasn't thinking of upside down pineapples on the sleeves. And then a guy two behind me chimes in. And he starts talking about, "Man, I went to one of those parties once. That was a wild scene." And so the three of us, I'm stuck in this conversation about my shirt and swingers. And I'm trying to explain to them, "Well, I thought that was all a pair of red Adirondack chairs. I thought that meant you were swingers." It's like, no, the upside down pineapple too. So then I go to the bathroom. It's a miracle I can pee at this point. I'm surprised it hasn't shriveled inside like a scared turtle. And I go back to the seats and I look at everybody. And I'm just standing there and they all look up at me and I go, "I have to burn this shirt." And they're like, "Why?" And I tell you, they knew. There's something about their reaction. They knew. They wanted me to say it out loud in front of the entire section at the concert. Because pineapples are for swingers.
Embrace your new lifestyle.
It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I can't even go to a concert, the first concert of the year, without something happening like this.
She was hitting on you.
Well, we still have to verify. We did not verify yet if there was an upside down pineapple on the sleeve she rubbed. I know there was one on the left sleeve, but she rubbed my right sleeve.
Odds are. Well, that means she wanted you for, I don't know what position. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. Maybe that's
I'm surprised somebody didn't come up and ask me for my car keys. Put them in a bowl. What the hell is going on in my life? I'm wondering if I should wear this to the supermarket.
That's what I told you to do. Wear it out to a restaurant, a bar.
Oh my God.
Wear it in Go to the supermarket with it and hang out in the produce section to see what happens.
And if I see some woman with a banana or cucumber, I should approach her.
As she fondles it enticingly.
Yes.
See if she's got the upside down pineapple earrings or pendant.
Oh my Lord. I feel like Jerry in that one episode of Seinfeld. I don't want to be a swayer. You got to get all these lotions and things.
I don't want to be a pirate.
Oh my God. All right. So there you go, kids. I hope you enjoyed that. My humiliation, yet again, serves as fodder for your fun and enjoyment.
Yeah, we had a good time with that throughout the rest of the show.
The whole weekend.
Yeah, the whole weekend, because
then I had to tell your other son the
who wasn't
story.
there.
And then we started joking about how I was going to buy them your son's shirt with pineapples for Christmas.
Oh, God.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yep.
Let's put it that way.
Yes, it did.
So now that we have amused you again with my tragedy, my awful, pathetic life that brings so much joy and amusement to Dave and all of you out there, can we please move on to the second concert of the weekend?
That's right. We went up to Wings Stadium, Event Center, whatever the hell they call it these days, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, for Sabaton and Judas Priest.
Which we have seen before.
Yes.
That specific double bill we saw, 7, 8 years ago, maybe?
No, it was only 2021.
Was it after the pandemic?
Yes. Or was it 22?
No, 2022 is when we saw Judas Priest in Queensryche. That was 2 years ago.
Yes, it was. So it was 3 years ago that we saw this.
So it was after the pandemic. Okay,
yes,
I thought it was the year before.
No, it was after the pandemic.
Okay.
Because I've just been starting to go through and listing the years of all the shows and who.
Cataloging.
Yes.
So we saw this double bill at a different venue in Michigan. We saw them at Van Andel Arena.
Yep, up in Grand Rapids.
Which blew our minds because that is a 2-tiered stadium.
Yeah.
And the second tier was basically closed off because they couldn't sell enough tickets. Now, this, obviously, you said it, it's a year after the pandemic, so people are still skittish about going. Was that rescheduled? Did we buy
No, we bought tickets for that one. It was not a reschedule.
Okay, but we didn't buy tickets and then they postponed it?
No.
Okay. So, second time we've seen Sabaton open for Judas Priest. And if you've never seen Sabaton, oh boy, you're in for a treat. Because number one, the drum kit is the most ridiculously cool drum kit you will ever see in the history of rock and roll. Even cooler than Peter Criss's rising, levitating drum kit. Maybe Tommy Lee's gyroscope drum kit.
Maybe. But the drum stand is a freaking tank.
Yep. Pretty much a full-size tank.
Yeah.
And it takes them, even though it's not a tank per se, it takes them forever to put it together and dismantle it.
They've got it down pretty good.
Yeah.
But, yes, Sabaton, they are... Swedish, I believe.
Yeah, they're Swedish.
And their songs are about different battles from history that they sing about. And they're all wearing camo and they do some cool stuff. The background depicts the different battles and the biplanes, because one of their songs is The Red Baron. So, we had 12 songs about different battles and war events throughout the history of man.
Yeah, they'll come out. One of the songs that you particularly liked with the gas mask.
Yep. The Attack of the Dead Men.
Yep. And their vocal, if I can call them vocal harmonies, I don't even know if I can call, but they're I mean, they're
Yeah.
all deep, deep vocals, 3 or 4 of them singing at the same time. It's
It's pretty
wild.
damn
It's
cool.
wild. It's wild. It is wild.
It's a spectacle to behold.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody,
No. No, and I'm
but
probably second time around, I'm probably in that camp.
yeah,
First time it was, wow, this is kind of wild. Second time it was like,
yeah, that's not for me.
well, I was like, same stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't need to see the same thing twice. It's felt like the same show again
yeah,
to me.
a little bit, but that's one I enjoyed it a little bit more. The Connor and Nick, my boys, absolutely
Yes.
loved it.
Yep.
So
Yep. Not my cup of tea. I was there for the headliner,
that's right.
the
you
mighty
were.
Priest, Judas Priest. For not getting to see them all throughout the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s.
We've seen them 3 times in the last 4 years.
Yeah. And they change their set list up every time.
Yes, they do. They are really good about doing that.
Now, of course, they've got a new album out, Invincible Shield, which we reviewed a couple months ago. 18 songs overall, including the encore here. Don't get me wrong. Let me start off with this. Now that we've seen them 3 times, it's getting easier to differentiate between which shows were better. I thought this was probably the weakest of the 3.
I will have to agree with you on
And
that.
most of it's probably because the deep tracks they played here were a little too deep for me, even though I'm a big Priest fan. When you start going back to the early Sad Wings of Destiny and Sin After Sin stuff, you're going to lose me a little bit. I am more British Steel, Hellbent for Leather on.
Yeah.
Is where my wheelhouse is with Judas Priest. So when they played Rapid Fire, I know that's off British Steel, but
It's
not
a deep
real.
track off of that.
Yeah. Saints in Hell, no clue. And I'm not saying these were bad songs,
No.
but would have liked to have been a little more familiar with them going in. And then Sinner, of course, they've played in the past. Not one of my favorites. Victim of Changes is okay. But again, you're going all the way back to Sad Wings of Destiny for that. Now, I will make a confession. All right? I will make a confession that I have never told you before. I'm not a big fan of Painkiller.
Oh, I know you're not.
Have I told you that?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I had.
Yeah. Oh no, you made that.
Well, I know the boys are
They
enamored
got-
with it. And
Yeah, that's kind of one of the ones, the first albums they listened to.
Right, and that's when I was fading out on Priest.
Yeah, and that's when they were coming into the Priest.
Yeah. Ram It Down and Painkiller is when I was kind of fading out on the Priest.
Yeah.
So I need those 5 or 6 albums from the late 70s through the 80s. Those or the newer stuff.
Yeah.
I do like the newer stuff.
Yeah.
Like when they played last time, which I enjoyed just like the boys did. What was it? Halls of Valhalla.
Yes, that was fantastic.
Yes, I get that. I love that song. I get that. That's newer stuff. But yeah, that whole Ram It Down Painkiller era just isn't my thing.
No, and that's where
But
the boys
everybody
came in.
seems to love Painkiller.
Painkiller
Drummer
seems
says-
to be the
Yeah,
song.
drummer says, "What song you want to hear?" Everybody yells Painkiller. I'm like, heading out to the highway. And of course they play Painkiller. And I did not get Heading Out to the Highway.
No, we did not get it this time.
I love that song so much, Dave. Oh, that right there hurts my rating. I know they don't play it all the time. They will bring it out on occasion.
We got it the last time.
Yep. I don't think we got it the time before, though.
We did not.
Because I think I complained about it
you
then,
did.
too.
And so you were happy the second time
Yep.
where we heard it.
Yep. The new stuff, hit and miss.
Yeah, we
I
knew we were
liked-
gonna get 2 off of Invincible Shield.
We got 3. We
Yep.
actually got 3.
They actually led off with Panic Attack.
And I think that was a great starting song.
It worked out beautifully.
Yep. The graphics they were using on the stage, the multi-screens were cool with people screaming. I think they'll keep that in the set list in the future.
Yeah, they should.
I've told you though, I am not this one. For sure, I am not a fan of Crown of Horns.
Yeah, no,
I think it's
that
too
we could have.
poppy and too repetitive.
Yeah, we didn't need that one. But
Yeah.
then we did get the title track, Invincible
Which is fine.
Shield.
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Yeah, but you and I, when we reviewed the album, there were plenty of other songs. I listened to it today, and I knew there was no chance in holy hell they were going to play it. But you and I agree that on the deluxe edition, the final song, "The Lodger," is
Oh my
awesome.
God. The Lodger should have been in there in place of Crown.
I don't
of
know how that
Thorns.
didn't make the cut for
For the main
regular
piece,
edition.
I know. Crown of Thorns should have been out.
Yeah, that's the radio-friendly poppy stuff.
That you're not going to hear anyway, so why did they even throw it in there?
I don't know. But yeah, there was so much other Gates of Hell. I mean, there's so much other good stuff on Invincible Shield that I would have preferred to hear. And another thing, crazy wild thought, as I listened to Invincible Shield today, comparing it to the set list here, and there's a lot of great. Turbo Lover, of course, one of my favorites. We got the typical encore with Electric Eye, Hellbent for Leather, Living After Midnight.
Yeah.
Which nobody's going to turn that down. And right away, second song in, You Got Another Thing Coming. So I'm not bitching about the set list to extremes. But because, again, third time in 4 years, a lot of these deep tracks didn't do anything for me. I actually would have rather had them play the new album live beginning to end.
In place of
just wipe the whole thing out. Maybe keep the encore. Maybe keep the encore. I think I would have been happier.
I cannot disagree with you on that.
There's only about 4 songs in the body of the regular set list that I would have missed.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you on that one.
I would have liked to heard some
of
the live stuff, the live takes on the newer stuff.
Yeah. This kind of it is the weakest set list that we heard from them.
Yeah. And there's still, again, a lot of good stuff.
They were still fantastic.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. And Rob Halford is using the echoes, we get it, to help him sustain the high notes, but he's still hitting those high notes.
Yeah.
He's just not sustaining them like he used to. And he's using the echo effects to carry those notes through. He's not John Bon Jovi, who's faking it completely.
Yeah.
But yeah, very good, very solid concert. Again, do you want to rate the band separately?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. Sabaton?
I will give them a strong 2.5. I didn't think they had the sound quite right for a lot of the vocals to come through.
And that might be the venue. I mean, Wings, I don't think that place is set up for concerts.
It's not.
It's a hockey arena.
It is, but
it's got a low
so's
ceiling.
Van Andel.
Yeah, but Van Andel at least has got a higher ceiling. Yeah,
but it depends on the sound guys.
I think that gives the sound guys a little more to work with.
Yeah,
instead of that low ceiling that Wings Event Center has.
Yeah.
I can't give Sabaton really anything more than 2. Again, to me, it was the same set we just saw a couple years ago. But I do enjoy what they do. The visuals are very cool with them, so they're not boring.
No,
they're definitely not boring.
They are not.
I think it's more with me. The music for them just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
For the Priest, solid 3.
Solid 3, yes.
Solid 3 Frenzies. Not gonna complain at all about it. Just nitpicking. We're just nitpicking.
Nitpick the set list because we've seen them so many times in a short period of time.
Yes. This is what we went through with Poison. When Dave
3
and I
years
saw
in a row.
Yeah. And they never changed it. They never changed the set list. So yeah, we cannot complain. At least Judas Priest changes things up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Poison never changes the goddamn set list. Never.
And why did we see him 3 years in a row? The opening act.
Yes, yeah, we did. God, yeah. Yeah, we saw some incredible opening acts. What, Rat 1 year, Cinderella.
Yep.
I can't remember the third year.
Dokken.
Yep.
And Sebastian Bach.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
So you can understand why we get into the third year, we're still going.
yeah, so and actually not too far into in the third year, not too far into Poison's set, we bailed.
Yeah, we just didn't need to hear those songs again. Didn't need to.
Yeah.
Great songs, but 3
But
years in a row was enough.
the third year we were there for the opening acts.
Yep. Yep. So there you go, kids. Rock and roll season just starting, and believe me, plenty more to come. We're adding another show to the slate today.
Yes.
So we will have another show adding in late July.
Yep.
Pat Benatar with her husband Neil Giraldo. $25. If you do not know this, get out there. $25 ticket week. All these shows, most of them, I should say, most
shows.
Yeah, I checked Hootie and the Blowfish, those fuckers.
Still full price.
Yeah, even lawn seats, still full price.
Bastards.
But most other shows.
Well, they're trying to pay for Darius's legal bills right now.
And of course, we were smart enough to wait, and then we got tickets to see Collective Soul on their own.
Yep.
So we're good there. But yeah, if you get out there, wherever you are across the great US of A, $25 tickets, fees are included.
Yes, that's
So
the beauty of it.
it's $25. Some places are being jackasses and tacking on $1 or $2, local taxes and things like that, but pretty much most of them $25 or barely more than 25. So get out there, get out and see some rock and roll. That's what we're doing. We were going to do 2 shows, but there was a previous engagement involved. So
Yep.
There you go, kids.
Now we still have 4 songs to get through this week. Good Lord, this is a jam-packed rock segment.
That's all right. We don't have a lot the rest of the show outside of dumbasses.
No, there really isn't much.
So we can go rock and roll for a while. Let me throw in a couple things, though. One thing you will find very fun. First off, I don't normally do this, but today specifically, as we tape on May the 8th, even though this show drops on the 11th, happy birthday to Alex Van Halen. I will always acknowledge the Van Halen family's birthdays.
Happy birthday.
Speaking of Van Halen, Dave, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Dave and I, for the last few years, ever since we saw, and next week, we will be reviewing the new album from Sebastian Bach, Child Within the Man.
Yes.
But when we saw him live a few years ago, and he sounded phenomenal, playing all his stuff, but mostly the old classic Skid Row stuff.
And then
what was your suggestion? And what was your suggestion?
That Motley Crue needed to dump Vince Neil and bring Sebastian Bach on instead.
Interesting story that got posted a few days ago on the Van Halen news desk. Does not involve Sebastian Bach, but same kind of scenario where we're thinking, who from this band could we put in as a lead singer of that band? On a podcast, everybody's talking, every podcast, except us. One of our favorite lead singers was asked, is it true, the internet rumors, that years ago you were not only asked to join Aerosmith when Steven Tyler was having his issues, but were you also asked to join Van Halen after Sammy Hagar left? They are asking this of one Corey Glover of Living Colour.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
His response? No, neither one of those rumors is true, but if they had asked, I would have been on board immediately.
Oh, man.
Missed opportunity for both bands.
Big time.
Specifically Van Halen.
Oh my God, Corey Glover would have been freaking phenomenal.
Oh my God. He didn't even hesitate. Yep, I would have been in on both.
Well,
If
yeah.
they'd asked, eh, poor Vernon Reed's probably going,
What?
"What the
What?
fuck
What?
about our
What?
band?
What?
What
What?
about
What?
our band? What? You just gonna
What
dump
new
Living
stuff?
Color?"
When have you done anything new?
It's been a while. Yeah, they haven't. But this is going back into the early 2000s. You know,
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I think they were broken up at that point.
they
Actually,
were, because he was
I
doing.
think.
Wasn't he doing some of the Broadway stuff?
Yeah. Yep. And he had a solo album back then.
Yeah,
Yeah. But man, oh my God, Corey Glover
singing.
with Van Halen. Oh,
Oh man,
just just a little food for,
goosebumps,
I know, just a little food for thought.
goosebumps thinking
Just a
about
little
that.
food for thought for you. Thought you liked that.
Yes, that would have been fantastic.
So again, Sebastian Bach next week will be our featured album review. Now, Dave, as you mentioned, a bunch of new songs. Let's have at it.
We're just gonna pick willy nilly on
That's
this
fine.
one.
That's fine. There's no real
There's
rhyme or reason.
really nothing that jumped out this week, and nothing that really fell below. They were kind of all in the same vein.
I will dispute you on that, but that's okay. You go ahead and do what you're going to do. And
Let's go older first. Let's pick Mr. Billy Idol. Best Way Out of Here.
now, this is a bonus track, an unreleased bonus track on the new anniversary edition of Rebel Yell.
Yep.
And we've already reviewed the cover song, the old Rose Royce song, Love Don't Live Here Anymore.
Right.
But this was an original.
Yeah, this is his, didn't make the cut. Now in the bonus.
Yep.
You can definitely tell it was from that era.
Yeah, and he's mentioned that he thinks it's kind of like it sounds like a throwaway Prince song.
It kind of, it has that 80s vibe to it.
Oh, God, yes.
Big
God,
time.
yes. Definitely 80s vibe to it.
Yeah. Wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't horrible.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
It's like the 2.5.
I'd give it 2.
Week 2.5.
I'd give it a week 2.
So
It's barely passable. Not recommendable, but passable.
yeah. So
Even sometimes you can hear on his vocals, his voice is straining a little bit and cracking.
yeah.
Because they realized they weren't going to use it and they didn't polish it
They
up
just
and
didn't care.
do a ton of other takes on it.
Yeah. It was probably a one and done.
Yep.
So Deep Purple, Portable Door. Interesting. Kind of a throwback.
This sounds like early 80s Deep Purple, late 70s with a heavy organ.
Yes.
Even though John Lord is not their keyboard player anymore, whoever's doing the keyboards now, this
throwback keyboard.
Yep. This sounds, it's like something that could have come off of Perfect Strangers, their comeback album. I'll tell you what, I thought it was fucking good.
I kind of dug it. The more I listened to it, the better it got.
Yeah. Yeah, now I know this song was probably not something you were overly enthused about.
It's a strong 2.5, borderline week 3.
See, I give it a 3. I'll give it a solid 3. Not strong, but solid 3. Especially considering the fact they are all 20 years beyond AARP age. For them to put this kind of effort in.
It was a tight song.
Yeah, for them to put this kind of effort in, I'm impressed.
Yeah, lyrically it was solid.
Yep. I did like the twists and turns of the lyrics, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah,
just to see if they can keep the momentum
where
up.
we're at.
Yep, but I like this. I will say this right now. I will be a spoiler alert. This was my favorite song of the week.
I can see that.
Yep. So what we got next?
Richie Sambora, I Pray.
Now, Richie Sambora, of course, you guys know, former guitarist for Bon Jovi. He's put out solo stuff before, and some of his solo stuff going way back, he did it when he was still in Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Was pretty good. He had some good stuff. Now, of course, he's on his own, begging basically to get back in Bon Jovi. If you ask him in any interview, he's really making it obvious.
Yeah,
that he
that
wants to get back. Now, of course, it's pending John's vocal recovery.
right.
Now, I pray. I thought this sounded kind of like with Billy Idol to a certain extent, a very 80s feel to it.
Yes, it was one of those pining to have been Bon Jovi back in the late 80s.
Yeah. And I'll give it the same rating that I gave Billy Idol a week two.
Yeah, this is a week 2.
It's not a great song. It's not awful.
No, but it's generic.
As opposed to Billy Idol, which is a leftover track from a classic album. This is the first release he's put out in a long time of
Does
more to come.
it
This is
doesn't
not.
bode well.
Yeah, that's the difference in the ratings. Both ratings are a week two, but this is troublesome
Yes.
because the first single, the lead-off
Billy
single,
Idol wasn't polished. They didn't
Yeah.
work it. This is polished and worked.
yeah, and it's again the lead-off
Red
track
flag.
for more to come. Yep,
Now we've got our double shot of the Hives.
we love the Hives here. You kids know that. One of our house bands.
Yep. So let's start with High School Shuffle.
Yep. Now these two tracks are bonus tracks again, just like Billy Idol. These are extra tracks that were left off the original version of Lex Hives, which they have now released in a deluxe edition with these two songs and a bunch of live songs.
Yeah. So High School Shuffle, it kicks off, and I'm thinking, where have I heard this drum beat before? Green Day. Had a very Green Day intro drum feel to it. And it wasn't typical Hive stuff, and maybe that's because they didn't polish it up either.
I think we're looking at another example of that.
Yeah.
Where I could hear, just like with
There's
the Billy Idol song.
something there that could have developed more.
Yes. Now I will say this. I thought the guitar work was solid. I thought there was enough there where all I could think when I listened to this and the next song we're going to review is, and again, I'm biased because I love the Hives. The Hives put out, toss these throwaway songs out there, and it's better than 90% of the crap everybody else puts out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'll give the High School Shuffle a solid, very strong 2.5 frenzies.
Yep, that's where I'm at with it.
Yep.
And then we have Insane. This felt very George Thorogood-esque with the guitar, the whole 3-chord thing, kind of that bluesy vibe, and even lyrically and sort of vocally, it had that Thorogood feel too.
Yeah, whereas High School Shuffle had the typical lyrics about rebellion, this is a little bit more creative lyrically.
Yeah.
It's the whole, I love you, but you drive me insane kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, and that's a Thorogood theme you get in many of his songs.
Yeah.
If you don't start drinking, I'm going to leave. So I get where you're going with that. Yeah. I'll give it the same rating that I gave High School Shuffle.
Solid 2.5.
Solid to strong 2.5.
Yeah.
And again, bonus
a
tracks.
A little bit more for these two could have elevated them.
Yep. Same thing with the Billy Idol.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hives just put out extra bonus throwaway tracks. And again, it's better than most of the other crap you're getting out there from bands as their lead-off singles.
Richie Sambora.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously much better. Obviously much better. Yeah, I don't think we'll be exploring the Richie Sambora stuff in the future.
Yeah, I think
he needs to win us back now. He needs to win us back now after that mediocrity. But yeah, oh my God, almost an hour on rock and roll,
Good
dude.
Lord. That's what you get when concert season kicks into overdrive.
Yep, and you do not have a book this week, right?
I do not.
Okay.
Lost time with concert attendance.
Which is fine. So now we can, take the next hour and winnow things down with the movies and the TV and the streaming. All right, so even though we're not doing a book review, which shocks me the man who reads 52 books a week.
I've been playing video games. My early Father's Day gift, the PS5.
And I know I'm as much to blame on that too, because I have to admit, I quit the Philip Marlowe book I was reading.
Good.
You
After
told
what
me.
you
You
told-
told me.
What you told me about it, you couldn't get into it. Bail.
Yep, Joe Ides, The Goodbye Coast. I gave it 100 pages. And
Typically, they say give it 50. If you're not into it by 50, toss it.
Yep. Initially I liked the idea, and I told you about it, where he's reinventing Marlowe for the modern day.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does too many things that I don't like. He goes into too much detail on the side characters, and he really never fleshes Marlowe out. Marlowe comes off as a very cookie cutter, generic character, which I don't like.
So the side characters have more behind them than the main character.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So, yep, I went back to finish up the Jesse Stone book that I had started last year to get back into that series. So hopefully in a couple weeks I'll have that. And then, of course, by then, maybe possibly Cleat will be out.
There you go.
Of course, the next great Robichaux mystery from James Lee Burke.
Greatest author of all time, in our humble opinions.
And then we have a new short story collection coming from Lee Child, coming out on September the 3rd, 2024. Safe Enough and Other Stories. Now, he is not co-writing this like he has been with Andrew,
his brother.
Yep, with the Reacher books. So it'll be interesting to see. We've been delving into James Lee Burke's Harbor Lights and those short stories. So now we've got another collection coming later this year from Lee Child. All right, let's do a little bit of movie news, and then I'll do my movie review of the week.
Yes, I've been slacking playing video games.
Yeah, again, see this? You see this? I have to hold this whole podcast up myself. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know you're looking forward to this one, Dave. It's official, June the 5th, 2026. The live-action Masters of the Universe movie.
Oh, God. Why?
Rumor is they're bringing Dolph Lundgren back. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Oh, my brain hurts.
Now, this one I know you're really, really interested in. Tagline is MVW. Because I know how much you loved Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. His eyes twitching right now. To make a cheap, quick buck, now we're going to have Mickey versus Winnie.
Oh, God.
Currently in production, of course.
Oh, God.
We discussed recently how the Steamboat Willie version of Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh are both in public domain now.
And now all bets are off. I'm sure the adult film industry is just gearing up for this one.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. You really went there?
And you hadn't yet. That's surprising.
Oh, my God. What? Yeah, with the pineapple shirt. Who would have thought?
Oh, Steamboat Willie.
Are you going to drop a Cleveland steamer on me?
Oh, Winnie, I've got your honey pot right here.
Eeyore, Eeyore. Of course, this is yet another slasher exploitation movie.
Of course it is.
Basically, you can tell it's supposed to be Freddy versus Jason somehow, some way.
Oh.
So enjoy it, kids. I don't know when it's coming out.
With actors in bad costumes.
Well, that was Blood and Honey. We don't know about this one. Maybe this is higher quality.
That's a good one.
Now, I will say, we talked about this one driving up to one of the concerts. I bounced this off you. This one you actually thought was interesting. A reimagining of Robin Hood. A movie called The Death of Robin Hood has been given the green light. Hugh Jackman already signing on to star as an older version of Robin Hood, mortally wounded, contemplating as he is nursed back to health by a mysterious woman in the woods, contemplating all of the evil deeds he has done in his life. So it's not the shiny, happy, rob from the rich and give to the poor.
Nope, it's
A darker,
the dark turn.
Yeah, the people he's wronged, the people whose lives he's destroyed by stealing from them.
Yep, I'm intrigued by this. This sounds very interesting.
Yep, probably a couple years away, but. And then finally, in movie news, Dave and I are both bitter about how they treated Henry Cavill as Superman.
Curse you, James Gunn.
But they have released the first picture of the new Superman, David Cornsweet. I just hate that name.
Cornsweet.
Cornsweet. David Cornsweet. First picture in the Superman outfit. And guess what? It looks pretty much like the Henry Cavill outfit. There's not much difference.
Go figure.
Really not much difference. I think this one he's got a little bit of a neck.
More of a neck protector thingy.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Punisher collar.
Not that bad. No. No. And that's the one thing that ruined that movie. Otherwise, Punisher Warzone is the greatest Punisher movie ever made. Ray Stevenson was the best Punisher up until Jon Bernthal. I still don't like with Bernthal, though, how they won't make it a full skull. You know,
yeah, they just
it's like a half-ass spray painted thing.
Yeah,
kind of like what Thomas Jane had in that Punisher.
Yeah, just.
Whereas Ray Stevenson, that was the outfit outside of the stupid neck collar. Sorry, Maestro got a little sidetracked.
That's all right.
Squirrel. Punisher. All right. My movie review of the week. Cheesy, ridiculous fun.
Kind of what I needed. Time to time.
Kind of what I needed. I watched Unfrosted on Netflix. Jerry Seinfeld's new movie about the birth of the Pop-Tart. And reviews I had read initially had told me that this was kind of his homage, because this is his baby. This is his whole thing. You know how nutsy cuckoo he was
for
on
Pop-Tarts.
Seinfeld. Well, on Seinfeld, breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole breakfast thing is kind of his.
He's always got something going.
Yep. So this is his whole baby. He's been working on this for a while. And he said it was an homage in a way to the old madcap comedies that pulled together all the comedians. Like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, which I love.
Fantastic movie.
Yes. If you've never
it's
seen
under
that.
The big W.
You've got to, I mean, Jonathan Winters, Milton Berle, back then
everybody was in it.
So I was a little skeptical of that. I was like, boy, those pretty heavy shoes to fill. Comes close.
Does it?
He does bring in a lot of modern comedians. Sebastian Maniscalco's in it. Bill Burr's in it. So he does bring in a lot of the big stand-up guys, the current big heavy hitters in comedy. A little bit of the older ones as well. Of course, the three biggest stars are him, Melissa McCarthy, and Jim Gaffigan. Gaffigan, of course, plays the head of Kellogg's, and Amy Schumer. Luckily, she's not completely irritating in this. Plays the head of Post, and it's all about this war to come up with the first breakfast pastry. Now there is one, let's start off with the negative. There is one ridiculously stupid storyline in this that I cannot believe Jerry Seinfeld signed off on.
Oh, no.
Now, luckily, it's a very minor storyline that really has nothing to do with the main part of the movie, but it's just one of those things where you go, okay, your ego's out of check. Now you're thinking everything is funny. This is not funny. And I'm not going to spoil it. You'll know it when you see it. Trust me, 100%. You'll know it when you see it.
It's the only thing that's so out of touch with
Yes.
everything else.
Yep. But otherwise, this is a very entertaining, very fun movie. A lot of pop culture references from the 60s that will make you remember your childhood. I mean, just dozens and dozens and dozens all over the place. But you've also got some modern humor snuck in there every 15 minutes or so. You get a little bit of that risque double entendre that'll go over the kids' heads where you go,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I know where you're going with that.
Oh, what you usually got from the 60s and 70s cartoons.
Right. And then you've also got a couple very clever references to classic crime movies and organized crime. The Meeting of the Serial Families.
Nice.
And then, of course, the milkmen have a say in wanting to stop the birth of the breakfast pastry, since you don't need milk for the breakfast pastry.
What do you mean it's not a cereal?
And like I said, I mentioned Bill Burr. Bill Burr and on a separate cameo, John Hamm have two ridiculously funny cameos. John Hamm's is an all-time classic.
Nice.
All-time classic. And again, not going to spoil things for you. You got to see these cameos and see what these actors and comedians do with what they're given. I really enjoyed this. I really had a ball with this. Don't go in expecting the be all end all. It's just fun. It's
something
just
entertaining.
Fun. It's an hour and 40 minutes. It's not 3 hours. It just does what it's supposed to do. Makes you laugh. Couple of really heavy belly laughs in there, and then it ends.
Well, there you go.
So I will give Unfrosted a very strong 3 frenzies.
All right. Very nice.
Yep. Especially, again, nostalgia factor. The cast is ridiculous. Oh my God. You got Snap, Crackle, and Pop causing issues. It's just the pop culture references are nonstop. And most of them are just fantastic.
All right.
TV and streaming, but first, I want to get serious for a second, because Dave and I love a good conspiracy.
Yes, we do.
Before we move on to TV and streaming, I got to bring this up. And if you people have not heard about this, shame on you. This is the kind of stuff that's going on in the little cracks and crevices and the dark corners of our world. Now, you know about the issues Boeing has been having with their planes.
Yes.
Did you know that 2, not 1, but 2 whistleblowers died within 2 months, both under suspicious and vastly different circumstances? My first thought was, when did the Clintons get on the board of Boeing?
Well, yeah, that's anybody's natural reaction. But yeah, the first guy supposedly shot himself in his truck outside his motel room the day before he was supposed to give his big testimony. Bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, because they went looking for him because he had to do his deposition, like you said, and they couldn't find him. And then eventually, they find his shot body in the parking lot at a hotel.
Yeah, that no, none of his family and friends believe he would do that. Especially when he told some of them, if anything happens to me.
Yeah, that's a pretty good indicator that they're out to get you.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which was more recent, a mysterious, incurable staph infection. Painful beyond belief.
Yeah, the guy's healthy, and all of a sudden, he comes down with this infection out of nowhere right before he's supposed to give his big testimony. Awfully damn convenient.
Just thinking about it, kids. Just thinking about it, as you should too. We got an election coming up. You believe that people are honest? Just think about this Boeing situation and tell me if we shouldn't be calling bullshit. And where's the great and glorious media?
Yeah, where's the investigative journalists? They're gone. They don't exist anymore.
Yep. All right. Dave's been waiting for me to get to this here now. Finally, we can start talking about Dead Boy Detectives on
Yes,
Netflix, of
I
course.
finally got into it. 2 episodes in.
This, of course, is an offshoot, depending on who you talk to. Truly, it's an offshoot of Doom Patrol
Yes.
in terms of the TV world, because they did make an appearance in Doom Patrol when that was on Max. Now, Netflix picked it up because, of course, Max and Warner Brothers are just idiots, and they got rid of all their good stuff, and they said, we're not going to do Dead Boy Detectives, and Netflix said, well,
we'll take it.
Yeah, it's loosely related to Sandman, which we own, that property, so we'll take it.
Why not?
So we got 8 episodes of Dead Boy Detectives. So you said you got 2 in?
2 in.
And I got 3 in. What do you think?
Nick and I are enjoying the hell out of it.
I told you.
It is funnier than hell. The effects are great. We love the intro with the skeletons.
And you can tell it's the exact same company that did the intro for Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Musically
you can just tell.
and with everything in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
love it. I absolutely love it.
This is a fun ride.
Now, you got to get past
some of the undertones.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that checkbox stuff.
Checkbox things. But despite
it
that,
fits in the storyline, though.
It does.
It does.
And that's what we always said. If it runs with the storyline, fine. It's original. The content, we've got no issue with it.
Right.
It's when you take established characters and try and twist them into what they're not that we have issues with.
Right. Yeah, and the whole thing with the creepy Cat King. Yeah, wait till you get to 3. 3, I will say this, 3 has a very familiar plot structure to it, but it is one that always works.
There we go.
Always works. Never fails. And it, again, works brilliantly with Dead Boy Detectives. And then we get some more advancement in some of the other storylines. But I love it. I think it's Doom Patrol, but they toned down the weirdness, the quirkiness, and made it a little bit more linear in terms of the storytelling. It makes more sense.
Yes, it definitely. You're not going, what the hell are they doing now?
Yeah.
Or why?
Even though it's supernatural, it's a more linear supernatural. You don't have weird stuff like Danny the Street.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a supernatural postman who drops off mail to them for their new cases. You got again stuff that makes a lot more sense.
And you've got Rowena. The witch Rowena from Supernatural, the actress.
I knew.
Has this role in
that
this.
I would not say anything about that until you saw her. Yep. When I saw her, when I was watching it, it's like, oh boy, they're gonna love this. They're gonna love this.
Yep, works. Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
very
but of
good.
course, she works in the Lost and Found in hell, and she's trying to get the Dead Boy Detectives back because they are not supposed to be roaming about. They're supposed to be under her thumb.
Yes, I believe. Oh, you bad boys. I think we heard that a time or two in Supernatural, too.
Yep. Then, of course, you have the hot, sexy blonde witch who will look like she's going to be making more appearances and be a central figure in this whole mess. And then you've got the oddly attractive neck-tattooed butcher.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something about her.
She's
is just-
alluring.
yes. Yep. So hoping to find out more about her down the road.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
you,
it's just a fun, quirky show.
I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I am
It's
loving it.
fantastic to this
So-
point. So
Here in the next couple of weeks, since it's only 8 episodes, I'm sure we will have a full season 1 review for you.
Yep.
I'm surprised you and Nick didn't blow through it in one night.
Yeah, we thought about it.
Yeah, I bet you did.
We were trying to give Connor an opportunity to play catch up,
Yeah.
and he
Did
dropped
he
the
bail
ball.
again?
Yes, he
Oh,
did.
God damn it. What am I going to do with that boy?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry, that young man. I keep thinking,
Yeah.
oh, like my daughter, I think of your sons and just think of them when they were 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I just can't get it out of my head.
No. 23, 22, 20.
Yeah.
There you go. Ugh.
All right, do have some TV news before we get to Moments of Silence and Dumbass of the Week.
June 13th. The Boys Season 4 drops on Prime.
Trailer looks bloody and demented and just everything you would expect.
Yep.
Yep, so check out the trailer for The Boys Season 4 if you have not already. I actually just watched it about an hour ago for the first time. If you love cartoons and you're into over-the-air viewing, yes, I know, shocking. You can actually hook an antenna up to a TV
What?
and still catch digital channels over the air, Dave.
Stop.
And one of those is MeTV. Of course, showing old TV shows. Well, they're expanding, and you will soon be able to access, I assume, in big cities at least, MeTV Tunes,
Woohoo.
which will launch on June the 25th. They own rights to all the Warner Brothers. So that's the Looney Tunes, that's Johnny Quest. They've also negotiated the rights to Speed Racer. So this sounds like this could be a very cool channel.
Very cool.
Very cool
now
channel.
They got to work on Hanna-Barbera.
Yep. But as opposed to something like the Cartoon Network, which is more about original content, this is just strictly going to be the classics, the old stuff.
Which is what Cartoon Network started as.
But yeah, they had me at Johnny Quest. Even though I own it.
Why not?
Johnny Quest. Oh, God. Greatest cartoon of all time. Greatest cartoon. I know you're going to say Speed Racer. But I'm going Johnny Quest.
1A, 1B.
That theme song. Dun, 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 dun. The ultra cool race band. And of course, the Venture Brothers, basically a parody of it. If it's got a parody, that means it's an all-time great.
That's right.
All right, if you kids like CBS, and we'll talk more about them at the end of the show. Well, CBS ain't going anywhere because they are now, for the 16th straight year, the most watched broadcast network.
Yeah, it's because they're not littered with all the reality shows and all these stupid ass singing and dancing crap. They're actually putting out some shows.
What, 6 CSI shows and the
NCISs.
Yeah.
And...
I'm sorry, yeah, the CSIs are gone now. It's the NCIS. Although I heard, believe it or not, I heard that they're bringing back CSI, but as a reality show.
Oh, for the love of God, just stop.
There goes. I'm telling you, I read this today.
There goes CBS down the toilet.
The real CSI Miami coming soon. Where they're going to follow the real CSIs.
Text to see what it's actually.
Down in Miami to see what they do.
It's better than a singing show.
Did you know Sebastian Bach, by the way, was on The Masked Singer recently?
I heard that. Yes.
Oh my God, I heard that the other day. Sebastian, what are you doing?
You're killing me, Smalls. Now we just finished the season finale of NCIS. The week before was the season finale of Ghosts. And I think this week is the series finale of Young Sheldon.
And what, Jim Parsons is back, right? In Mayim Bialik, I think. are going to
Yeah,
make
they might
appearances.
make an appearance at the end.
Well, that's all out there already,
Yeah.
so that's not a spoiler. Sorry,
no,
dude.
it's not. But then they already announced next fall, First Marriage, or whatever, Young Marriage, the spin-off with his older brother Georgie and his wife.
Yep.
We'll see.
Spin-offs, and more spin-offs. And you wonder why I don't watch network TV anymore outside of sports. Although I have a reason maybe to go back. Now, the title of this show sounds terrible. Coming soon to Fox. Rescue. High Surf. And high is capital H, capital I, Hawaii. Right? You go, oh my God, this is going to be another, another terrible show written by awful, terrible, stupid Hollywood people. Well, let me tell you something, Dave.
Is it a generic Baywatch knockoff?
Well, why would I talk about it if it was? I wouldn't bring it up. I'm bringing it up because it is going to be produced by John Wells and Matt Kester. Both Animal Kingdom. Matt Kester wrote 19 episodes of Animal Kingdom. John Wells was a producer on the show. And
I would be more inclined to watch it if it was on FX.
I know. I don't know if it's going to be as edgy as it needs to be. Because also, starring in the show is one Sean Hatosi, who played Pope on Animal Kingdom.
Nice.
So it's got a lot of Animal Kingdom connections. But again, I agree with you. If this was on FX, I'm there. I don't know how edgy it's going to be on Fox.
Yeah, that's
the one concern I have.
Yeah. I don't know that they're going to push the envelope enough with it.
Well, I got bad news. Good news, bad news. Let's put it this way. Bad news, potential good news. Resident Alien is in trouble.
We knew that.
Even though we got a cliffhanger at the end of season 3.
They're going to Terriers us, aren't they?
NBC is saying it costs too much to make it. So they are saying that it's probably done at Sci-Fi. It could move to USA Network, but they would have to cut the budget by about $500,000 an episode.
Lame.
The other potential possibility, since they're running the seasons right now, is if Netflix would pick it up. But I don't know if that's realistic. They said there's a lot of rights negotiations Netflix would have to go through to get it and get it throughout all of their different countries.
Typical bullshit where they're going to do something bad to a great show.
Yeah.
They fuck everything up.
Yep. And then we mentioned The Boys as we wind down here with TV and streaming. Gen V is back in production this month. They will not recast Chance Perdomo's character Andre, so they'll probably just write him out immediately. Of course, if you did not hear, Chance Perdomo in star of season 1 of Gen V died in a motorcycle accident right before they were supposed to start season 2 production. So I think they made the wise choice.
Move on.
Yep. All right, I know, finally here as we end our discussion of TV and streaming, this one Dave's going to love. Going to love it. Now, of course, FX, I think basically every other show on FX now is Ryan Murphy, American Horror Story and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a new show coming to FX. Sounds very similar to American Horror Story called Grotesquerie.
Oh, jeez.
But here's what you're going to love. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought it up. Guess who's starring in it? Travis Kelce. The benefits of banging Taylor Swift. Now you're getting cast in big time shows.
Oversaturation.
What else is new? What else is new?
Oh, God help us.
Oh, and of course I have to, real quick, the one big highlight from WWE Backlash. Couldn't watch it live because we were heading out to a concert, heading out to the highway, which I didn't get to hear.
Yes, you made that clear earlier.
Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill win the women's tag team titles, which you could see coming a mile away, and they will not relinquish these titles. I predict they will have them for at least a year.
All right.
All right, moments of silence. Our buddy Jamie, for some reason, thought this was I'm not trying to diminish death,
No.
but we have
But
to admit
it's-
there are some that are more significant than others. And he thought this was a big death in the world of rock and roll, and I was like,
Who?
What? I mean, I kind of knew the name, but
Didn't
not one of the biggest
register
record
much.
producers of all time, in my opinion. But Steve Albini, I guess known most for producing Nirvana's In Utero. Now, when I was reading the obituary, I was kind of taken aback by the fact that this guy got away with something that most people in Hollywood would not be able to, even though it happened back in the day, I think back in the 80s or the 90s. Because in addition to being a producer, he was also in multiple bands.
Yeah.
One of the bands he was in was named after an anime character, I believe is what it was, called Rape Man.
Yeah.
And then years later, I'm really embarrassed and ashamed. Here's an idea, idiot.
How about you not name a band that to begin with?
Yeah, it seems pretty logical to me that you would just stay away from that name completely from the start. So I'm sorry, this is kind of a dumbass moment of silence at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, unfortunate.
Yep. And then for you Lord of the Rings geeks out there, also was, I think, the captain in Titanic, Bernard Hill, passed away. Neither movies really, that movie series or Titanic, not my cup of tea.
No.
And finally, Susan Buckner. Now, who is Susan Buckner, you may ask? I think Dave knows. Susan Buckner was one of Olivia Newton-John's cheerleader friends in the movie Grease. So, of course, she needs to be acknowledged.
She played a cheerleader. Come on.
Tell me more. Tell me more. I really got nothing else. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
But there's your moments of silence for May the 11th. So, Dave, what time is it?
Pivot. We have to pivot.
All right. 8 dumbasses in contention this week for the coveted weekly Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week award. Let's get into it, shall we?
Yes.
Now, this one we discussed again. We got to talk about something driving to these concerts. So we usually like to do more spontaneous stuff here, but some of these things we talked about over the weekend.
Yep. So we had almost 3 hours of drive time.
Yeah.
Getting to the show.
And outside of the monsoon coming back from Judas Priest, thank God we didn't come back last night. Oh my
man.
God. Because that was the path
Yeah.
that we drove.
Yeah.
And
They had a couple of tornadoes roll through the area that we had
a few nights earlier, just a few nights earlier that we had driven through.
Yeah.
And we drove through a monsoon 2 nights earlier. But they got hit with some massive tornadoes. But I digress. Hope everybody out there, by the way, in Michigan is okay. Mentioned CBS. Dave and I might have a difference of opinion on the creativity of CBS right now, and I think this will help my case. Of course, one of their most popular shows right now is Fire Country on
Oh,
CBS.
God.
Now, you guys know Morena Baccarin. She, of course, very attractive woman, plays the girlfriend of Wade Wilson in the Deadpool movies. She popped in, I guess, in Fire Country as a sheriff. Everybody seemed to like her character enough where, of course, she's getting a spinoff.
A spinoff for you, and a spinoff for you, and a spinoff for you.
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. Law and Order, CSI, NCIS, FBI, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago Veterinarian, whatever. But here's the thing, okay? And this, again, will...
We know you want to try and brand a series, but come on. This is beyond bad.
So this new spinoff from Fire Country, starring Morena Baccarin as a... Now her name is, I think, Sheriff Fox, maybe? I'm not sure. But it's definitely not country.
No.
But they have decided that the spinoff should be called Sheriff Country. One of the dumbest, if not the dumbest name for a TV show in history.
If they wanted to play on that, they could have used her character's name, called it Fox Country.
Something like that, yeah.
That would have been better.
And again, I'm not 100% sure. Fox sounds right, though. I think that's
but
what
whatever
I read.
her last name,
Right.
character's last
Right.
name is, if they would have used that in country, that would have made more sense.
Yeah, Sheriff Country. I've got to believe, well, in the day and age we live in, probably not, but I would normally say smarter, cooler heads will prevail, and by the time they get into production, they will come up with a better name.
God, they better, because that's just freaking stupider than stupid.
All right, Dave. We love On Patrol Live, right? We love the true crime,
Yeah.
following the police along. Too bad they don't have cameras in Colorado for this one. A female just released from prison for car theft. Walking down the street, decides, hey, I see keys in that truck there. I'm going to steal that truck.
Idiot.
So she hops in the truck. They left the keys in it. Fires it up. Gets going and realizes, oh, crap, it's a stick shift. I don't know how to drive a stick shift. So she jumps out of the truck. Truck smashes into a fire hydrant, I believe.
Idiot.
And she goes right back to jail again for car theft, truck theft again.
Strike two.
And somehow I believe that this probably happens more often
Yeah.
than you would actually believe.
Criminals are dumb.
All right. People have, the 1% have a lot of disposable income. And we hate it. We watch them waste their money on stupid, idiotic stuff.
I'm going to build a rocket to go to outer space.
But now I think it's gone too far. We will now have Bark Air. Bark Air is now a new charter airplane company that caters exclusively to dogs. Their motto, dogs fly first. You show up an hour ahead of time. The human companion will explain to the flight attendants what the custom travel plans for the dog should be. And of course, they will get treats and all sorts of fun stuff on the plane. And the planes themselves will be painted with a wagging tail on the back fin.
Absolutely pathetic.
So there you go.
So bad.
So you're gonna have to.
So bad.
You're gonna have to get Trixie Trixie on one of these planes.
Oh my God. Hell no.
It's just cruel to have these animals in cages and put them in the belly of the plane. Good Lord, we treat the animals better than we treat the humans.
No kidding. Good Lord.
And part of me gets that, especially with some humans. All right. I got a very smart guy, and I got a dumbass company. Now, you and I have talked a lot. Again, we haven't had any book reviews in a while, but we've talked on many occasions about how these idiots will not proofread the books.
Right.
You buy a book for $20, or you get it from the library, and
Misspellings,
they just let
grammatical errors.
just let the computers run through. Do not use human proofreaders anymore to actually catch these mistakes, right? Well, you've heard of Cartier, right? The luxury jewelry brand,
Yeah.
Cartier. Recently, well, I don't know how recently it is, but let's say within the last year, somebody at Cartier made the mistake of listing a $14,000 pair of earrings for $14 on their website.
Boom.
And
sold,
a gentleman named Rogelio Villarella was smart enough and lucky enough to catch it, be on the website when they posted the price at $14.
Boom.
He bought 2 pair. But of course, Cartier.
Oh, no.
Yes, Cartier said, well, come on. They offered him a bottle of champagne.
Kiss my ass. You're
And he
honoring
did.
that price.
Mr. Villarreal fought, and eventually he got his 2 pairs of $14,000 earrings for $14 a piece. Gave one to his mom. Gonna hang on to the other one, and I'm sure at some point we'll sell them and make a nice tidy profit. But good for him.
Good for him.
And Cartier, on
Screw
many
you,
levels,
you
many
morons.
levels, you are dumbasses. Not only for having an idiot on staff that doesn't know how to post prices correctly, but then
trying to refuse to honor it.
Yep.
No, not good.
All right. Dave and I years ago went to see Green Day, and we were disappointed in Billy Joe Armstrong, lead singer, and him doing political rants throughout the show. And ever since then, we have made it a point to stress.
Shut up and entertain me. I'm here to hear your music, not you spout your agendas.
Very disheartening to hear that we have somebody who, now I expect this out of Bruce Springsteen. I expect this out of Eddie Vedder. I did not expect this out of Mick Jagger.
Oh, come on.
At a recent performance in New Orleans, I believe it was the big Jazz and Heritage Festival, Mick Jagger took a shot at Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry. I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm close. He said, "Isn't this a great crowd? All different types of people. We're very inclusive here. Unfortunately, Governor Landry wants to send us all back to the Stone Age." So for that, dumbass. Again, just like you said, do not mix rock and roll and politics. We don't like it.
Not during the show.
Yeah, you can do it on an album.
If you wanted to do the interview.
Or an interview, right.
Do it in an interview.
Right.
But do not do it during a show.
So now I'm going to pivot and give you my Clint Eastwood badass of the week. That would be Governor Jeff Landry of Louisiana, who decided to take a shot back at Mick Jagger on social media. And might I say, a very clever shot at Mick Jagger. Now, number one, Mick Jagger said all this, I guess, after singing "You Can't Always Get What You Want." So that is what Governor Landry led off his tweet with, basically saying, Mick, you can't always get what you want. You're always welcome in Louisiana. And again, paraphrasing, but I'm close. You're always welcome in Louisiana. We love having you here. But you would really be the only one who could remember the Stone Age.
Boom. There you go.
All right. We had a double dumbass in our sports edition this week. Now we got a double dumbass in entertainment. And I hate to say it, it's Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Drew.
Number one, her recent interview with Kamala Harris.
Oh, God.
VP of the U.S. You want to talk about cringe-inducing? From what I've read and from what I've heard, some of the things she did. Number one, doesn't understand personal space at all.
No, she does not.
And this is the vice president of the U.S.
Well, look who she's been working with. Biden has no semblance of personal space either.
And then, of course, she was coming up with that, oh, we need a mother. The country needs a mother. So let's call you Mamala Harris.
Oh.
Just a complete clusterfuck, dumbass interview.
No.
But it doesn't stop there for Drew. And by the way, this is not even the second part of this, but talking about the lack of creativity in Hollywood, they're bringing back Hollywood Squares, and Drew Barrymore is going to be the center square. You're never going to beat Paul Lynde. Never.
No.
Why try?
Just no. Just stop.
But part two of Drew Barrymore as a nominee for this week's Dumbass of the Week, you're going to love this one. Now, I know you wouldn't do this because you are a pure, righteous, holy man. But I know people who shall not be named who might have at one point in time in their life made a list on paper of their sexual partners. So Drew Barrymore made a list.
Yes, she did.
Of all her sexual partners. And then she confesses that she thinks she left it at Danny DeVito's house. I can tell you, don't do it. Don't ever write that down. Don't ever do it.
No.
Keep it locked in your brain.
You don't write it down. You don't take pictures, and you don't video.
And you don't assign points based on performance. I don't know who would do that, but so Drew Barrymore is a double dumbass. All right, we're getting to the home stretch. Just a couple more, and then we'll vote. Okay. This really pisses me off. The Boy Scouts of America will now change their name. The Boy Scouts of America will now be called Scouting America.
Yeah, because that sounds so much better.
Because they want to be all-inclusive. And that's fine, but
guess what? What are the Girl Scouts doing?
The Girl Scouts were suing the Boy Scouts. Because the Girl Scouts of the USA were recently suing the Boy Scouts because the Boy Scouts were trying to be inclusive and were letting girls in. And the Girl Scouts of the USA didn't like it because they said, you're infringing on our territory. Why don't we just get everybody together under this moniker of Scouting America? Boys, girls, everybody. But no, we gotta keep the Girl Scouts of America.
But God forbid the boys actually have their own scouting thing left alone.
And I know a lot of people don't like Ted Cruz. I do. I'm on the side, and Ted Cruz says this is bullshit.
It's dumber than hell. And the scouts wonder why their numbers are dwindling. It's because boys do not want to do their stuff with girls. Sorry.
But you're not inclusive, Dave.
This is not an inclusive club.
Well,
If you're going to have the Girl Scouts, then you have the Boy Scouts.
well, they're
You
pretty.
can't do the crossover.
Well, they were pretty inclusive. They were letting pedophiles in.
Yeah, that's why I said, because Scouting America sounds so much better. It sounds like the pedophiles are on the lookout, doesn't it?
Doesn't. It's not called scouting my anus. Jesus. I just don't like the hypocrisy of the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, this is
I think the Girl
bullshit.
Scouts look worse as a dumbass here than the Boy Scouts do. The Girl Scouts, again, this is everybody gets whatever they want, any race, creed, color, sex, religion, except white men. Or men in this case.
Yeah. Done.
The
Over.
evils of the world all revolve around men. Fuck you. That's what I'm a man and I'm proud of it.
Damn Skip.
I'm not going to be a fucking snowflake for you. Bring back the Boy Scouts of America. Sorry. Not really. And here we go. Let's follow that up with another one. This might be my nominee, the one I'm picking. Have you heard about this dumbass TikTok social media debate about would you rather be, they're asking women only, would you rather be in the woods with a man or a bear? And like 60 to 70%, might be even higher, of the women are picking the bear.
For the love of God.
And then when they're asked why, they say, because the bear won't rape me. Because the bear will actually value me.
What are you, fucking stupid? The bear is going to destroy you. You will be mauled and eaten.
Dave, you wouldn't believe the media on this.
Oh my God.
I read an article on MSNBC. God help me. I would never do this normally. Where they have to explain, I'm an idiot. They have to explain to me that this is all about the abuse, the sexual degradation, and the misogyny that women deal with from men every day of their lives.
Oh, because it never happens the other way around.
Yeah, my first reaction was, why don't we give this question to men? Would you rather spend time in the woods with a woman or with a bear? And if I'm going to be like these women, I'm going to say I'll take the bear, because a woman's not going to bitch and piss and moan about every goddamn little thing I do or don't do. How about that?
The bear, because if I have to listen to her bitch, piss, and moan, death would be a sweet release.
But it's just, this is the world we live in now. Or now we've come to a point where this idiotic stuff, another way to channel this latent anger and hatred towards men. I am not a rapist. I am not a misogynist. Don't fucking lump me in with this kind of crap.
With the vast minority.
It's always the vast minority. The vast minority is always what factors in. So stupid. So stupid. The meek shall inherit the earth. Remember that? That's what we're seeing right now. The meek and the stupid are inheriting the earth. Who is the dumbass of the week, Dave? You have. Let me list them again for you.
Let's go back through.
Cartier. Double dose of Drew Barrymore. Sheriff Country. Bark Air. Mick Jagger. The female Colorado truck thief. Scouting America, or the Girl Scouts, whatever you want to pick there. And the bear or man TikTok social media debate.
How about we just pick TikTok and be done?
I got to go with you on that. Yeah.
Just abolish TikTok already.
But no, specifically, this debate
This is
pisses me off.
This is dumb beyond dumb. This is like the online poll. Would you rather live in San Francisco or New York City? It's not. Neither is an option.
Neither. No, it's just I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the hatred towards men. I'm tired of being called a racist, a homophobe, a bigot, a misogynist. I am none of those things. But you know what the people who call us that are? They're the scourge of the earth. They're the dumbasses. Problem. And I'm sick of it. And I will never back down. I'm not going to kowtow and cower. Fuck your idea of toxic masculinity. How about that? Everybody else gets to do whatever they want, but men, no.
Nope. You gotta just shrivel up into your little corner and not go anywhere.
I am proud of my toxic masculinity, and god damn it, I'm not keeping it bottled up. I'm putting my goddamn Hawaiian shirt back on, and I'm swinging out there, baby, and I love it.
He's out there, Jerry.
I'll hit on every woman out there. Not really. I'm actually very respectful, but sure as hell.
That's not the point.
Sure as hell not a pansy ass like these men are growing up to be now, most men. Do I have permission to touch your boob? Can I get it in writing? What have we come to in this society?
Oh, I gotta get it notarized too.
Man or bear.
Bullshit. And on that depressing note, we hope you enjoyed the show this weekend.
Lots of rock and roll. About a month away from our next concert review, but next week, of course,
Sebastian Bach.
Along with The Iron Claw. That'll be our featured movie review, of course. Zac Efron, starring in the story of the legendary Von Erich wrestling family. Toxic masculinity!
At its best.
He's a conquistador.
He's the maestro.
Say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Say goodnight to the kids, Dave.